2 when it first became legal. But now it's a good time to be a Miraidon fan.
Well, I tell you what, it's not a good time to be Victor Freitas right now, though. Prize the Prime Catcher and the Radiant Chancellor, and a 1-1 line of Reggie Drago. Goodness gracious me, Ross. They are some, well, interesting prize cards at the very least. Look at the Stephane's side, though. 2 copies of Basic Lightning Energy and Arven, a Judge, and a Boss's Orders. Not the most impactful, but I'm intrigued to see how Victor navigates this.
Yeah, of course, you're only allowed to play 1 A-Spec.
Yep.
Victor chose Prime Catcher. Prized.
Yep.
You're only allowed to play 1 Radiant Pokemon. Victor chose Charizard. Yep. It's also prized. Both of the enforced one-offs, unfortunately, hitting the prize cards there for Victor. And assuming we take the prizes bottom to top, they are going to be stuck there for a little while. But we have both players sat down. We've got opening hands. We've got starting Pokemon. We've got way too hot weather here in Honolulu, but the Pokemon action is absolutely worth it. And to be fair, the aircon's kicked in a little bit in the hall. Yeah. It's a bit nicer than when we got here this morning.
and
we are off.
Looks like our players, are starting us off, and I think Victor here is going to kick us off here in our feature match. Going to bench that Teal Moss Ogre-Ball. Going to activate that Teal Dance, and you attach your grass energy to itself, and then draw 1 card as well. Our feature match here in round 5 of the 2024 World Championship. Ultra Ball being played as well. Going to discard a Dragapult EX and a Kyurem. Love that if you're a Reggie Drago V Star player. Get your attackers in the discard pile as soon as possible. Why do you want to do that though, Ross? Because that Apex Dragon attack from Reggie Drago V Star lets you use any one of your Dragon Pokemon's attack in the discard pile as that attack.
Yeah, you want to get them in the discard pile nice and early. Get them in the discard, and then you can copy them and go from there. I was always wondering, and a lot of Japanese lists were, about 1 in 4, seemingly, were playing Haxorus.
Yes.
And it's not seeming so popular in places like Europe, North America, Latin America, Oceania, etc.
Yeah.
And I don't see it in this list here, so not terribly relevant here. There is some, it gets an automatic 1-hit KO on a Pokemon with special energy.
Yeah.
Could be kind of relevant here, not in the list. Instead, we got stuff like Kyurem and Dragapult. That's what I mean.
Worth noting as we do see the Ultra Ball concluding there for a Reggie Drago V, and another one being played there, getting rid of an Ultra Ball and an Iono. But yeah, worth noting actually, the second attack on that Haxorus, just 230 would be a great amount at dealing with these 2 prize Pokemon that Stephane's playing, like the Raikou and the Miraidon, as we do see that Ultra Ball concluding for a Squawkabilly. You might be seeing a Squawk and Seize, Ross. I absolutely love Squawkabilly, letting you discard your hand and draw 6, as long as it's to say use it on your first turn. There we go, letting you just turbo through the deck, and let's see what Victor can grab here.
Yeah, we've already talked about the discard being pretty big in Reggie Drago decks. Well, Squawkabilly helps with that. You draw more cards, and Reggie Drago has it's got a bit of a reputation as a deck which doesn't always have the best starts. So cards like Squawkabilly really help you out there to try and get a little bit further forward. We've got an energy being put on the board here. Is it going to hit? Is it going to be played? Is it going to be discarded, play something else? Where are we going with the energy?
I imagine it's going to get attached to a Reggie Drago.
There
going to go on the bench. Yeah, the 5 ranges are quite crucial. But now it's Stephane's first turn of the game in our round 5 feature match. Let's see, we're going to open up the copy of Raikou V, and the active can use Fleet-Footed to draw 1 card as long as it's in the active position. And let's see what Stephane can do. I see an Arven at the very least. We'll be able to search. It is going to be played, letting you search your deck for a tool card and an item. This is Stephane's first time consulting the deck, so I imagine you might see a little bit of a prize card search just to work out what's available to him and what isn't.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see that we actually had the energy put on the benched Reggie Drago there for Victor. Pretty important because, cards like Raikou, for instance, cards like Miraidon, they can actually get up and do enough damage to KO Reggie Drago really early. We've got your electric generator getting a bunch of extra energy. We can have some fast starts in this deck.
Yeah, and it's worth noting as well, we do have the Zapdos that will boost your basic lightning type damage by 10 as well. So, these Pokemon can start hitting for extra damage. And a Lightning Rondo actually adds up rather quick. 20 plus 10 for each bench Pokemon in play. And like you said, with Electric Generator, we could even see some attacks getting fired off, as we do see a Nest Ball and a Forest Hill Stone. Obviously, Nestball grabs the Miraidon. That fantastic tandem unit ability, letting you grab any 2 basic lightning type and pop them straight on your bench. Fantastic ability, Ross. One of the best abilities I've seen in a while.
It is, and if you're feeling cheeky, one of them can be a Miraidon. So you use Miraidon to search Miraidon and a lightning Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then use a second Miraidon to search out 2 more lightning Pokemon, and boom, that's your bench. But of course, we're not in the early builds of this deck. We got Mew EX, we got Pheasantipity, we got Squawkabilly, Radiant Greninja, Iron Bundle, Blood Moon Ursaluna. These are not lightning Pokemon. But right now, if we have a look, Stephane's going, well, what do I need to do? I need to set up to KO Regidrago, V, and V-Star. What's the best way to get rid of the V-Star in a Miraidon deck? It's Raichu.
Yeah, Raichu works. Also can use that Forest Hill Stone. Obviously, Photon Blaster would be a very good attack at getting rid of Regidrago as well. So that Forest Hill Stone has been used. Star Alchemy, letting Stephane grab any card he likes from his deck and popping it straight into the hand. There it is. Can't quite see what it is yet. It was an electric generator, Ross. Oh, and there's that Stadium Night Academy at night.
Love it.
Oh, goodness. That's basically going to guarantee the electric generator. So we know one of them's going to at least be a hit. Are we going to see 2, though, Ross? Electric generator. Here we go.
Oh, we do see 2.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Now, Academy at Night, one of the new cards from Shrouded Fable. Great Stadium. Lets you put a card from your hand on top of your deck.
Yep.
For things like this, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you find up to 2 basic lightning and attach them.
Yeah.
Well, if you put an energy on there with your Stadium, you're not looking at 2 out of 5, you're looking at 1 out of 4. That's a lot better.
I see a switch card, Ross. We're going to see a turn 1 Photon Blaster for 2 prize cards here and a Squawk and Seize as well. Stephane saying, hold up, my turn's not over. Squawk and Seize, discard your hand, and then draw 6 as well. And I think this might be why these Miraidon decks are doing so well today, at least early on, is that this turn 1 pressure is immense.
And this means that Victor's decision to put the energy on the bench Regidrago absolutely working out. You don't lose an energy. But here's the thing, Miraidon takes out the V. Miraidon doesn't take out the V-Star very well, but Raichu does. Yeah. And that's why we've already got the Raichu sitting there established. And after that, Cheeky KO on a Squawkabilly, Cheeky KO on a Teal Mask Ogerpon, all of which are much easier to KO. With a start like this, Stephane only needs to KO 1 V-Star to win the game. And Raichu's like, it's all right, I got you, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Raichu, a fantastic attacker. That Dynamic Spark doing 60 for each energy you discard. We do see Victor benching a Pheasantipity and then activating Flip the Script, letting you draw 3 as his Regidrago V was KO'd last turn. Now let's see what Victor can do. We do see a V-Star. So now Legacy Star is available, and you discard top 7 cards of your deck, and you can grab any 2 cards you like from the discard pile. One of the game's most best V-Star abilities, I think.
Yeah, it's really good for consistency, and it's one of you're not playing Regidrago V-Star for the ability. You're not playing it for Legacy Star. No. You're playing it because Apex Dragon is a phenomenal attack.
Yes.
But you don't really have any other V-Star power you have to use in the deck.
Yeah.
So it just kind of becomes a really nice, handy bonus. I'm playing Regidrago. Might as well use Legacy Star while I'm here.
It looks like Victor is going to conclude that nest ball. Going to grab another Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. That's our energy acceleration. That's how we are going to get that Regidrago powered up via Teal Dance and Energy Switch to get that hefty 2 grass, 1 fire energy on the Regidrago. So we are going to see a Teal Mask on the active. There it is. Draw a card into another Teal Mask Ogerpon.
Well, it looks like there is, and then we draw another energy. And this is one of the things this deck does. You keep attaching energy with your Teal Dance ability, and every time you attach an energy, you draw a card. It's one of the few decks that we've seen in years that plays a full 4 energy switch.
Yeah.
So you can take the energy off of the Teal Mask Ogerpon, move it to your Regidrago, and then, oh look, now I've got enough energy rolling. So you need energy switch and an energy or double energy switch. And then you will be able to use Apex Dragon this turn if you're feeling like it.
I think he really would be feeling like it, though.
I think if it's an option, he probably will.
Yeah, as we do see an Earthen Vessel concluding, they're going to grab 2 copies of basic grass energy. So I think we will be able to pay retreat at the very least, and then energy switch, because there is 1 in hand, and get the Apex Dragon rolling. Will we see Legacy Star this turn, though? I'm unsure. Worth noting, the bench lock now, so there is no room for another Regidrago, at least right now. So good, worth keeping an eye on that.
Well, that's why I'm thinking my boy Raichu. I'm thinking Raichu here. If Raichu can have a big... You need 2 more energy, assuming Miraidon's still there at the end of the turn. You need 2 more energy onto Raichu, discard all 5, 300 damage, combine it with some gustings. Not the easiest thing to pull off, but here we go. We've got Myriad Leaf Shower here. Oh, we are go. Okay, that's gone on Red Drago. So we've got 7 energy total. That should be enough, shouldn't it?
I think it is. 30 plus 30 for each energy attached to both active Pokemon.
8 times 3 is 24.
There we go. That Myriad Leaf Shower. What a great attack to say. Coming in the clutch and actually keeping that Regidrago perfectly on the bench. And I think we do see that Myriad Leaf Shower, Ross. Big KO on that Miraidon. And all of a sudden, the pendulum of power has swung back. Stephane Ivanoff currently has no energy in play.
But the thing is, once you build up a full bench, Raikou is happy. 2 full benches, Raikou hits 220.
Yep.
So with a full bench from Victor, all you need is to hit 1 energy off of a electric generator onto a Raikou, attach for turn, and your return KO is there. Stephane doesn't mind giving up 2 prize KOs as long as he's able to then respond. Stephane took the first one. If they go back and forth, Stephane wins.
This is true. This is very true. Worth noting, the Raikou is currently in the active, so won't be able to electric generator to that, at least
yes,
right
of
now.
course.
But yep, you're right. Lightning Rondo would get there. So would Raichu. So would another Photon Blaster, to be honest. It's going to be a very high explosive matchup. Just 2 prize KOs left, right, and center. And you know what, Ross? They're my favorite kind of games, I'll be honest.
They can be fun. I would not expect to see the Raichu this turn.
No.
Raichu was saving that for the V-Start. So your only really good answer to it's the only way to hit up to 280 or above nice and easily. Oh, now Iron Hands. I mean, yeah. If for those of you that can't see, because we're looking at the game, Shay's pointing at Iron Hands, and then he's pointing at Squawkabilly, and then he's pointing at Iron Hands, and then he's pointing at Squawkabilly.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. Iron Hands onto Squawkabilly. Fun free prize turn.
It really would be. I mean, Arm Press doesn't quite do enough damage to knock out anything else, but you know what's good about Ampy very much? It takes 1 extra prize card, so, and then obviously hitting Squawkabilly ×2 weakness would be kind of strong. Let's see what Stephane opts to do here. So we're going to see an Academy at Night activation.
Tells me we're probably going to see an electric generator hitting the board.
Yeah, there we go. You can see it there. Electric generator. We're going to see another 2 energy hits here. Look at top 5. Attach up to 2 lightning energy. You find there 1, and was that 2?
That's a double hit, Shay.
Oh, love to see it. Plenty of electric is being generated here in our round 5 feature match. Where are these going?
Miraidon. Because then you attach for turn, retreat your Raikou, boom. Instant KO, job is a good one.
Yep.
And this is what I love about the Miraidon decks. You've got a lot of options. One of the things we're seeing with these new builder, we're seeing it in this game. Academy at Night, meaning that you hit double off electric generator so much more easily, that opens up Miraidon as an attacker. Miraidon has traditionally been a kind of once per game, twice if you're lucky kind of thing, while you rely on things like your 2 energy Raikou. Not in this game, Shay.
Yeah, and I think it's actually a fantastic meta read, right? You know, as we see cards like Pheasantipity and Tilmask Ogerpon coming to the forefront of the meta game. These are all 2 prize Pokemon that cannot evolve. And that is where Miraidon becomes such a good attacker, right? You know, quickly dealing with them, decent hit points itself, and can set up the board via its tandem unit ability. I wonder if Miraidon could be the play, as we do see a Pheasantipity getting benched, and then we see a flip the script, drawing 3 as well.
You saw our caster predictions early, Shay. I told you Miraidon was the play like 3 days ago. You had no excuse for not knowing it coming in. Here comes in the Miraidon, though, and we see the KO on the Teal Mask Ogerpon. And here's the thing. Stephane now 1-2 prize KO from winning this game.
And has that Raichu as that just destroy everything button, as long as there's enough energy around there in play. Worth noting as well, we do see that emergency board being attached to that Raikou, so that's going to be a free retreat pivot for the rest of the game. But it is over to Victor now, who's going to promote that Regidrago V-Star and start the turn off there with a Nest Ball. Let's see what he opts to take. Eyes up that Iron Bundle. Obviously, you can push whatever's in Stephane's active out. Let's see what else. I mean, is that the only target, actually?
The problem is, like, The number one thing that Stephane wants at the end of this turn is to keep those free energy.
Yes.
Those free energy want to be...
Yeah.
So for Victor, you really need to take out the active Miraidon. You want those free energy off the board, because otherwise Raichu just becomes so much of a threat here.
Yeah, that's like 180 damage straight off the bat if no other energy or attacks, probably. Then you'd have to have another 2 to attack with the Dynamic Spark. So we're looking at a high damage output there, as we are going to see the Iron Bundle getting put on the bench there, that ability Hyper Blower, as we are going to see an Earthen Vessel, Ross, discarding Cleffa, which we saw get used a lot in our round 3 feature match. This time getting sent straight to the discard pile to grab 2 basic energy.
Yeah, and you do, of course, need 1 more energy for Regidrago there.
Yep.
It's not quite got enough energy to attack yet.
Yep.
So a third one, a Grass specifically, will be needed for Apex Dragon. Are we going to see some trickery here? Because I'm wondering, like, we saw the KO, the giant KO using the Tiamat's Gogapon.
Right. One
of the issues with that was it took 4 energy rather than 3 onto Regidrago. And obviously at this point, with 2 prizes remaining, you have to have your 280 Pokemon in the active.
Yes.
You can't leave your 220 there anymore.
For sure.
But what attack are you copying?
Well, it's going to have to be Lost Impact from Giratina. That's not currently available, though. But we do still see Legacy Star. Hasn't been used yet, but you're right. Victor does need to actually find the Lost Impact ASAP, as we are going to see the Iron-O being played. Victor will get 4. Stephane will get 2.
Because Kyurem doesn't do it.
Nope.
Great for spreading damage.
Yeah.
And Dragapult hits 200 to the active, but you need to hit 220. You need to take that Miraidon out. So...
Oh, I think it might be a Legacy Star and Prey here. We do not see... Oh, was this he flipped the script as well? Giratina V-Star, where are you? Not there yet. Oh, this could be a very, very impactful Legacy Star. There's no other way to thin the deck right now. Supporter has been used. We could also see the Hyper Blower being activated and just try and carry something. But you're right, those 3 energy would love to get removed here from Victor's side of the board. Are we going to see the Legacy Star here, Ross?
We might see Legacy Star here. I mean, the reason for Iron Bundle is to basically go, look, I need to keep up with the prize race.
Yeah.
I want to take... I know it's not the best prize, but like if Victor doesn't take a KO this turn, then the game's basically over. So at least KO something and force Stephane to have the rest of the cards. Now, here's a question. Is it 10 cards we discard with Legacy? Or 7?
7.
How many cards are left in deck for Victor?
Ooh, it's a fair point, actually.
Are we late enough in the game that discarding the top 7 cards of the deck could end up getting rid of too many things or getting too close to backing out?
I think you might be right there. So it looks like we did see an Academy at Night activation and then a staging replacement with the Temple of Sinnoh, but you're right, yeah, discarding 7, especially after using Squawking Seas and Freitas Research. It looks like we are going to see an Apex Dragon into a Max Phantom, 200 damage to the active, and then 6 damage counters can be spread wherever you like. It looks like it's going to be on a Squawker Billy EX.
Now remember, Miraidon cannot attack 2 turns in a row and only does 220, so we're looking for some kind of gusting, plus a switch to the bench and come active, or really what you want is to get Miraidon out the active after getting 2 energy on a Raichu, and then that's it, that's the game. That's 300 damage onto the Regidrago, you're good to go. That's the ideal situation. Some kind of switching card combined with an energy and an electric generator. But what's Stephane got in hand at this stage?
Yeah, remember, only having 2 after the Iron. We've seen an electric generator.
Double hit here would be absolutely huge.
Stephane, what have you got? 1. Oh, I mean, just the 1. Okay. Just the 1. Just the 1. Okay.
That's a start. Raichu needs 2 energy on. So if you've got another energy in hand plus a switch, that's game. But generally speaking, when players are shuffling, not slamming down the cards onto the table, they don't have it yet.
No. And worth noting that Max Phantom doesn't KO anything, so that means Flip the Script is not live right now for Stephane. Got Iron-O to 2, and Electric Generator was 1. That's going to go on the Raikou. We're going to see a Pay Retreat here. We're going to see a Fleet-Footed. I think we might be.
I think we're going to see a Lightning Rondo here. We could see a Fleet-Foot, but I do think we're going to probably just hit here. And remember,
what was that? Prime Catcher!
Oh, Prime Catcher onto the Squawker Billy! And then we see the KO with the Miraidon. I told you, Shay, gusting plus getting Miraidon to the bench and active. That's what Prime Catcher does. Squawker Billy goes down. Stephane takes game 1. Oh, that came out of nowhere, that did.
It really did. That Fleet-Footed just coming out of nowhere, grabbing that A-Spec to bring that Miraidon back into the active. Photon Blaster on the Squawker Billy, and all of a sudden, Stephane Ivanoff is 1 game up here. Wow.
See, and I think this is where Stephane was as well. I'm like, well, you know what? You're not going to KO a Lightning Rondo, but do a bunch of damage with Raikou, do the damage with Lightning Rondo, and then look, Victor's not winning the game next turn, so everything is then in range of Miraidon the following turn. You know, win next turn. But then you fleet-footed, you draw the Prime Catcher, and like, wait, that's game.
Yeah, that was honestly the one card that could get him out of that scenario, and it came up clutch. Victor thinking, wow, okay, fleet-footed got you there, fair enough. But it's best of 3. One good thing about this matchup is that games will be high tempo. There's still plenty of time for a game 2 and a game 3. But currently, right now, in our round 5 feature match, Stephane Ivanoff is 1-0. Let's have a look at some of these key plays here, Ross.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of these key plays. That turn 1 KO with Miraidon on Regidrago, absolutely phenomenal. We saw the speed and power of the deck very early on. Victor, I'm hoping we're going to see the gigantic Teal Mask Ogerpon return KO. That was absolutely huge here. There we go. But Stephane had enough to finish off.
And yeah, here we do see that Miraidon coming in there. And it was just, you know, every time your opponent takes a 2-prize KO turn 1, it's going to be tough. But there we did see the fleet-footed for the Prime Catcher, and that was all she wrote for game 1 off the top deck there as well. But wow, what a game 1 that was.
Right, I'm going to throw some maths at you for a second, Shay, all right?
Oh,
we had 3 electric generator played that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
We hit 5 energy off of it.
Yeah.
I think, if my maths holds, I'm not using a calculator here, but I'm pretty sure that means 1.67 energy per electric generator.
Yep.
1 2/3 of an energy. Most Miraidon players, if you tell them they're going to hit that, oh, they will be happy. But we're into game 2 here. Stephane's prized his Prime Catcher and 1 electric generator. Not ideal. On the other side, I am seeing Dragapult prize and Temple of Sinnoh.
He does play 2 copies of Dragapult though, because obviously that Phantom Dive is very impactful, so we'll have another one. Worth noting that the lead here though, looks like as Stephane is starting us off here, has led Squawkabilly, and we are seeing a tandem unit being activated to grab a Miraidon and something else, but Victor has led that Kyurem. That is a hard Pokemon to get out of the active.
I've heard, and I don't know how much I believe it, I've heard some people telling me Kyurem is not an auto-include in Regidrago because of the difficulty of potentially starting with it.
Yeah.
I think the attack is so good you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Right now, we're seeing that argument in practice. The fact that, you know what, if you start with it, not only is it a bad starter, but you've then got to either give up a prize or work really hard to get it into the discard pile, and it does become a little bit awkward. Of course, vast majority of players obviously playing Kyurem.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's an argument I've heard.
As we do see that an Ultra Ball being played there to grab the Iron Bundle and Energy Attachment to a bench Miraidon. And it looks like we're going to see a Squawk and Seize as well. Potentially, I don't quite get to consult the hand here. It didn't look too great. We do see a Raging Greninja. And then we do see the Squawk and Seize. 6 new cards there for Stephane. Tell you what, this sounds looking, it starts looking quite good. Do see some double turbo energy, a basic energy. I think that might be it. We're going to see a concealed cards. Going to draw 2. Zapdos and Boss. Okay, so I think that's going to be all the actions there for Stephane.
Worth noting, Stephane just discarded a Boss and drew into the other 2.
Oh.
So all the Boss available this game are in Stephane's hand, and Prime Catcher is prized. So just keep a little bit of an eye on Stephane's hand. I wouldn't expect to see something like well, basically they're going to be protected in the hand is what I'm saying here. We're not going to see them getting discarded because we kind of need them. So Victor's had a bad start, but it does look like we're using Ultra Ball on, is that Dragapult? Oh, yeah. So the second Dragapult already hit in the discard.
Yep, so I think it was discarding a Regidrago V-Star, as you see there, and Dragapult EX. So now all of a sudden, prizing another copy is fine, because you don't really need that, so that can stay in the prizes. And yeah, Phantom Dive will be available, as we do see. Looks like Regidrago being opted to be the target here, but looks like Victor is going to be doing some prize checking as well. Yeah,
we see this all the time from players, good players a lot of the time. They go, right, I got 6 cards that are unavailable to me because they are in the prizes. Look, we check them at the start of every game as well. We just can do it really easily because we get the images. They have to look through their deck and try and figure out what is prized.
Yep, and that's sometimes can be a hard thing to do, so players have to do that. As that Ultra Ball does conclude, they're going to grab that Regidrago V. And we do see an Earthen Vessel activation. We're going to get rid of, ooh, another Regidrago V-Stars. That's 2 currently in the discard pile.
There isn't one prize.
Yeah, there isn't one prize. Just checking. Just checking. But only 1 to work with, at least for now. Obviously, we do have access to Legacy Star, so we'll be able to get some back if needed. But that would obviously require you to have another Regidrago in play.
There is also Night Stretcher, that is a new card in this deck. And there is an argument sometimes to have some in the deck, some in the discard, so then all of your searching options for them are live when you need them. Right now, it looks like we are going to... Actually, Night Stretcher is now in the discard pile.
Yes, off that Professor's research, we did see a Fire Energy attachment before that research there as well. We do see an Ultra Ball in the hand, though, so that means a Regidrago V-Star will be easily gotten if Victor likes. The Nest Ball is going to be played here, I would imagine, yet for a Teal Mask Ogerpon. So you can get that in play, start using Teal Dance, get some energy in play, and draw more cards as well.
Sounds good to me. And here's the thing. When you go, like, letting Miraidon go second, you're like, well, what if they get a big KO going second, which we saw in game 1?
Yeah.
But letting Miraidon go first gives them a turn to set up.
Yeah.
You have a turn, and this deck is not taking prizes turn 1.
No.
And then Miraidon still gets to try and take the first prize, except they've had kind of a setup turn in advance of their big KO turn. So can be a little bit scary if you are not able to take early prizes. Giving Miraidon 2 turns to set up that KO can be a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, intimidating is a very good word to describe that for sure. Because it looks like we're going to see another Regidrago V benched, and so we're going to see an Ultra Ball going to be played here as well. I wonder what this is going to discard. So we're going to discard a Professor's Research and an Energy Switch. And it looks like we're going to grab here another Ogerpon, perhaps? The Teal Mask Ogerpon?
No, Radiant Charizard. Not great now, but Radiant Charizard will just get a very clean one-hit KO onto a Miraidon. You only need 1 Fire Energy, and then it's 4 colorless, reduced by 1 for each prize card your opponent's taken. So they take a 2-prize KO, for instance. It's a free energy attack, but you're playing a deck with energy acceleration and energy switch. So it could be, I mean, it's certainly a lot cheaper than Teal Mask Ogerpon was last game. And there's a good chance you only give up 1 prize here. So you're giving Stephane a really awkward prize map where they have to get the Kyurem. Then they have to get the Radiant Charizard. Then they have to get 2. Well, that's 4 KOs instead of 3 Shay. That's not ideal.
And I guess it's worth noting as well, what that Radiant Charizard does, we know that Stephane prized the Prime Catcher, is that Hyper Blower now, if Stephane was to use it, you could just promote the Radiant Charizard, so you're not giving him the first 2 prize KO just off the Iron Bundle, so it's also fulfilling that use as well.
Yeah, that's a good point there, getting 2 one-prize Pokemon down to force Stephane to have to be KOing one of them. Oh, again, lovely deck. Look at the, excuse me, having a lovely, nice look at Stephane's deck there. Boom, nailed it. And just getting a good look at every card there in the deck so you can see exactly what's available. Little treat for everyone watching.
It looks like we are going to see an Arven being played here. It looks like a skateboard is going to be, rescue board, I should say, not a skateboard.
It's going to be electric generator.
Yeah,
Come on, it's Miraidon. It's always electric generator. If you see a Miraidon player playing an Arven, they're going for an electric generator. They cannot help themselves, and I don't blame them. Because, you know, get your energy. It's just, this is not the game I want to play if I'm Stephane. Victor's doing a really good job here of making Stephane play an awkward game, because you cannot avoid Radiant Charizard. Remember, it was prized in game 1. It does 250 and its attack only gets cheaper. You have to KO it.
As we do see Electric Generator being played there. Only 1 copy of a basic Lightning Energy there. Not bad, not bad. We'll take it as boys. Better than none.
It's better than none, but here's the thing. Academy at Night back in game 1 was helping Stephane fix it, basically.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And we're not seeing that here. Now, we did have the attachment turn 1, so the attack's on the board here.
Yep.
Stephane does not want to KO Kyurem and get KO'd straight back. That is not what you're looking for here.
Do you see Rescue Board? I wonder if we're going to see a Motivate, potentially. No, we are going to see the base Genji attached to the bench. The Rescue Board attached to the active, so he can retreat.
Stephane has to take prizes here. You've got to do it. Oh.
Or not. Maybe he doesn't. He's going to opt to leave Iron Bundle in the active. I like this. It's being like, well, I don't want to take a 1-prize KO, so I'm going to try and make you take a 1-prize KO, so it's just going to be...
Well, that made me look really stupid then, Shay. You have to take prizes. And Stephane's like, no, I don't. I am bundling the active and pass. So what this is telling me is Stephane is going to ignore the Radiant Charizard, which is a risky play.
Yeah.
Because it means that Victor essentially just KOs you back without... It KOs everything in Stephane's deck.
Yes.
Without really trying. And if you're going to KO the Charizard, you kind of have to KO the Kyurem. So it's a little awkward, honestly. I can see what Stephane's doing, and I like it. The prize map 2-2-2 is better. But it does lead you in an awkward situation where you kind of have to just let Victor have the Radiant Charizard, because if you're going to do a 4 KO prize map, then you need to start last turn.
We did see an energy switch there being played. Going to get energy onto the Regidrago. Ooh, there is no Regidrago V-Star in that hand there, Ross.
There is not. Remember, there's only one available in the deck.
We do have Till Dance still being able to be used here, but tell you what, they're going to have to be... These Oakmon are going to have to do some good dance moves to get Victor out of this. What was that? It was Hawlucha. We've got one more use of Till Dance here, potentially.
I love Hawlucha, but that was not the right time for it to come out.
Worth noting, Victor did draw into his one copy of Switch. He will be able to maneuver Kyurem if he would like, but hasn't got a Regidrago V-Star yet.
Nor does he have the third energy yet.
Very
and if
true.
you keep attaching him to, does he have enough to attach for Teal Dance and then for turn?
Yes. Yeah, he hasn't attached for turn yet, so looks like we are going to see Teal Dance activation number 2. What is this card going to be, Tilmask Ogerpon? It's a Pheasantipity EX, Ross. That, unless my eye deceive me, is not a Regidrago V-Star.
Yeah, he didn't have another energy, but he did have an energy switch. So the energy wasn't the issue there. The issue was no V-Star.
Goodness, looks like this one prize active. One prize is staying active here. Now Stephane has the opportunity. I think has a boss's orders in hand, actually.
Well,
So,
he only had 2 left in the deck, and they were both in hand.
yes.
So he should have 2 in hand.
So can we get this Iron Bundle out the active? We do see a bait. Okay, well that works. That's going to get you out the active. And can remove 2 energy off of Regidrago here as well. That's fantastic. Photon Blaster will be very efficient here, looks like. Yep, boss orders is still in the hand, so can just do that. No, nothing really ever to do in that hand, though, because it's all full of supporters and Pokemon, and when you bench start, you can't do that. So I imagine we're going to see that boss's orders being played and remove 2 energy and a Regidrago V from play.
Yeah, I really like this play. It means that Victor has to work so hard. And, I mean, basically, you need double energy switch. Oh,
I like this.
Using Iron Band. There we go.
Just saying, nope, don't want to hit that, so I'm going to boss his orders anyway. And then that frees up a bench spot as well for Stephane.
We've all done it. We've all used the card to make your opponent choose a new active in the hope that they choose the one that we want. It's the World Championships. That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
But like you say, freed up a bench spot. It had to be the Regidrago there. That does go and get KO'd. Stephane takes the first 2 prizes again. But Victor, any attack here is going to take a Fire Energy and 2 Energy Switch, whether that's on a Regidrago V-Star, whether that's on a Radiant Charizard. But here's the thing I'm thinking if I'm Victor. Stephane has given up the prize map that involves 2 one-prize Pokemon. So if I get my free energy onto a Charizard, Stephane still wants a 2-prize KO. I might have that attacker for the rest of the game now, or force Stephane into an awkward prize map.
Yep. That is something to keep an eye on, as we do see Victor bench a Pheasantipity EX and then use Flip the Script. Worth noting, Victor's top deck for the turn was Ultra Balls. He was very close to that Regidrago V-Star last turn, was 1 card away. Looks like Victor did draw into the copy of Night Stretcher as well, so plenty of ways to get the Regidrago V-Star. As we are going to see a superior energy retrieval being played. Discard 2 cards from your hand and then grab 4 basic energy from your discard pile and put them straight onto your hand.
And of course, when you're playing this deck, you've got your Teal Mask Ogerpon on the board, so it doesn't just give you energy, it puts the energy on the board and gives you draw power as well because of those Teal Dance abilities, like we just saw there. Now, we've got a Fire Energy, we've got an Energy Switch at least. Do we have 2 by any chance?
I don't think there's 2 in hand, but if we do see Night Stretcher for Regidrago V-Star or Ultra Ball for Regidrago V-Star, you can use Legacy Star to then grab back some from the discard pile. So I think Apex Dragon is definitely live this turn, but whether Victor would opt to use that or use Combustion Blast from the Radiant Charizard, both are live right now.
I like using Combustion Blast just because it almost forces Stephane to deal with it, and then go onto an uneven prize map.
Yes.
Or ignore it and give you an attacker for the rest of the game, either of which is quite nice. The downside is, if you put all the energy on there and Stephane does deal with it, that does get rid of a lot of energy very easily.
It really does, especially if you have to use Legacy Starter and then grab back your energy switch to power up Combustion Blast. That now means you have less to use to try and power up a Regidrago if you need it for the rest of the game. We are going to see Regidrago taken off that Ultra Ball there, though. So Legacy Star will be available if Victor chooses to do it. Let's see what he does here. Yeah, we are going to see Legacy Star, so discard top 7 cards of your deck and then grab any 2 cards you like from your discard pile. Oh, okay, a lot of energy there. Cleffa, Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, Boss Orders, and Professor's Research, but now Victor can grab any 2. Now, I imagine Energy Switch is going to have to be at least one of these.
I mean, right now, you need a second energy switch in order to get an attack. Actually, it might be double energy switch coming back.
Yeah.
I don't mind this at all. You need energy right now. And here's the thing. Teal Mask Ogerpon, great at getting energy into play.
Yeah.
But it doesn't put it in the right place. It's not actually... it can attack. And obviously in some matchups where you're against Charizard and hit for weakness, yeah, fine. But in a lot of matchups, it is just there as an engine. There we go. This is what I was imagining was going to happen.
Yep.
And this puts Stephane in a very awkward situation.
It does.
You KO it, but you could have had a 1-prize KO a minute ago and you turned it down, so you're on an uneven prize map. Or you don't KO it, but then Victor can every turn just go, respond with Charizard.
Yeah.
Respond with Charizard. So this is a very awkward situation Victor's put Stephane into, and I love it.
I tell you what, I don't think Stephane's hand's particularly that great, you know. We see Professor's Research in the hand, but there is no Arven, or there is an Electric Generator, I should say. So has got some resources to work here and an Ultra Ball. But yeah, it's really awkward because you have to deal with this Radiant Charizard, or you can try and race and grab 2 more 2-prize KOs. But like you said, all Victor has to do in that scenario, which is announce Combustion Blast. And if you miss a single turn, then you swing the game back over. So this is a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you're taking big 2-prize knockouts, so the theory is simple. Take the first knockout, don't stop taking knockouts.
Yes.
Simple as that. But if you take out the Charizard, that's kind of like taking a turn off knocking out.
Yeah,
if you don't knock out, that's obviously taking a turn off knocking out. So Stephane doesn't really just need to get an attacker rolling. He needs to get an attacker rolling with Gusting, knowing that you need the same thing next turn. Although, if Stephane does get the KO, will draw that Prime Catcher off the prizes.
Yes. That is something to keep an eye on for sure. As Stephane is going to grab a Pheasantipity EX from the deck, so Flip the Script will be live. Love that. Going to get 3 cards from the deck. One of the new cards from Shrouded Fable. We're going to draw 3 there, and let's see what these are. We know there is definitely at least 1 Electric Generator in hand. Oh, Blood Moon Ursaluna. That's a very good card at taking 2-prize KOs. Well, unless it's not hitting into a V-Star, of course.
Do we have bosses? I think we still have one boss orders in hand.
There's 1 boss's orders in hand.
Okay, so Stephane doesn't know he's going to draw into the Prime Catcher off the prizes. He knows he's got a 50% chance. But I think the play here is just Blood Moon Ursaluna onto a bench 2-prize Pokemon. Hope you hit Prime Catcher next turn.
Yep.
Jobs are good, and now you need free energy on Blood Moon Ursaluna. And that's the issue.
You can't Electric Generator to it, so...
No. So it's almost a downside. Victor's not taken enough prizes here. But it at least gives an option for the final KO.
Yes, it really does.
And with a full bench, you don't need much. Right, 1 energy. You need 1 energy for your Raikou here. Raikou can attack for 2 energy.
Oh, no!
It's a whiff!
Oh, goodness. That is not the turn to whiff Electric Generator there. All of a sudden, I'm not even sure if an attack is possible here for Stephane.
That was it. But if you get the energy there, you get the KO with a boss's orders, and then you can next turn Prime Catcher plus Blood Moon Ursaluna, and that's the game. There's your 6 prizes.
Yeah, but that's not going to be possible. And I don't think there was any other Electric Generator in hand. I mean, you could Arve them, but that means you're not going to be able to then...
There we go. Yep. And that's the thing. Like, there is a reason Stephane has not played a support yet this turn. Because you want to end the turn on boss's orders taking a 2-prize KO. This is really awkward, but you're going Bravery Charm. Essentially here, you are trying to take a 1-prize KO and survive.
Yes. And that's going to be interesting. Bravery Charm forces Lost Impact to be used, but then Victor, we've seen a lot of energy switch there being played, so it might be hard to get the Apex Dragon rolling. Electric Generator, and there's a 2. So that's not bad, to be fair. Would have loved that to be on the first Electric Generator, but we do see 2 here off this one.
Yeah, it's just so annoying that it came when it's too late now to go and play your boss's orders. So you're kind of forced into attacking into the active, which I'm not sure you even necessarily want to do.
I mean, we could see a retreat and promotion of the Raging Greninja, and that is possible.
I think that's it. I think you put a one prizer active and basically play Victor at his own game.
Put the Bravery Charm on just to make a boss's orders KO on the Rhydon even harder. Let's see what Stephane opts to do here. You are correct. There's many different lines. We're going to see the retreat. We are going to see an attack, though. Throw it on Blast to KO.
It's not a bad play by any stretch of the imagination, because what you're doing here, you're not helping your prize map greatly, but you're hurting Victor. That, like I said a minute ago, this takes all the energy off Victor's, or all but one energy off the board.
Yep.
So it means that Victor is going to have to work really hard to get a return KO in conjunction with a Bravery Charm.
Yep.
Instead of trying to just put a one prizer active, Stephane's gone, I don't think you can KO this back.
Yep. And
it's going to work out.
Yep. And, you know, did actually take the Prime Catcher from the prize as well. So that's an option for Stephane next turn. It's like Victor is going to promote the Regidrago V-Star. Energy Switch in hand? There's not. We need to see Energy Switch this turn.
Yes.
That is a non-negotiable if Victor wants to attack. We're going to start the turn off with an Earthen Vessel. Going to try and thin the deck. Is there even an Energy Switch there? Is there? I don't think there is.
Yeah, one.
Oh, there is
deck.
one. There is
one
one.
in deck.
There is one in deck.
Okay.
Oh, so there is. Yeah.
3 INO, Energy Switch, Squawkabilly, Nest Ball, Energy, and... Is that Earthen Vessel?
Which one?
The one that's Squawkabilly.
Oh,
no,
Vessel.
it's... Yeah, it is an Earthen Vessel.
It was an Earthen Vessel, yeah.
That's the entire deck. That is everything Victor has left to play with.
Okay, so there's one Energy Switch there. How many energy are in hand? How many Till Dance have we got? Oh, no, you need to attach fire, actually.
You have to attach fire.
Yeah, we have to attach fire.
We got one in hand.
We got one in hand. Okay. So, okay, there's 2 copies of Basic Wasp. We can get 2 uses of Till Dance. We need to see Energy Switch here, folks at home. Till Dance. That is not an Energy Switch. Oh,
I know.
Goodness gracious me. Just going to count the cards here. Oh, my goodness. Obviously, can use INO here as well to try and get there. You'd love to try and see it off the Till Dance first, though. But let's see what Victor opts to do. Looks like we are going to... Oh, he's debating it. Here we go. Are we going to be Till Dance? He's debating.
He's certainly thinking about it.
Oh, here we go then, Ross. Are we going to see it?
We
Till
need
Dance.
Energy Switch.
Energy Switch. Nest Ball.
Nest Ball.
Okay. So, we will have to play the INO here, I would imagine, to try and get there. Still not? Well, sort of draws 4. There's more than 4 cards left in the deck, so it's definitely not guaranteed. Going to reset Victor's hand down to 4 and Stephane down to 3, putting both players' hand to the bottom of the deck, and they draw 1 for each prize card left.
And this is a classic example of why cards like INO, putting cards to the bottom of your deck, is so big.
Oh, no! One more card! Oh, he hit it off the last card!
Hit it off the final card!
Woo! Okay.
Made us work for that. Oh, I had Pheasant Dipty.
Oh, did add Pheasant Dipty as well. Did get the Prime Catch. I'm not going to use that now, though. We need to be slamming into the active. But I tell you what, though, actually. If you was to use Lost Impact here, you have to Lost Zone 2 of your energy. And we know that all the energy switch are being used here. That means it's going to be very hard to attack again.
There is an argument here to say Prime Catcher the Squawkabilly, copy Dragon Bolt, do 200 while you've got damage counters onto... Is there any more gusting available for next turn for Victor?
Not out the gates, no. I think you're right. I don't think you can afford to Lost Impact here. I think you're right. You have to Dragon Bolt and then go into Lost Impact.
Resources are getting very, very slim.
2 cards left in deck there by the looks of it, so... Yeah, Nest Ball, was it? Oh, no, there's more than 2, so it is 3. Okay.
Now, I like this. They're going to be going after something else instead. No prizes for guessing what Stephane's going to promote, though.
Yeah.
Although there's an argument, you kind of need that to draw cards next turn. The Greninja, obviously, is what I'm talking about.
So it looks like... No, we are just going to see... Yeah, we are just going to see the Lost Impact, KO the active. They go into the lost zone, 2 basic energy. Okay.
You kind of had to, because there was no other way you were going to do it. Because even if you copy Dragapult, put 6 damage counters on the Rhydon, that would have brought it down to 210, which is still not in range of another Dragapult attack.
But but on the next, so you can just use Lost Impact to win the game, right? So
could, but then there's the energy question. You're right, though.
Yeah, so it was awkward. Over
Very
to
awkward.
Stephane's side of the board now, as Victor is on 2 prize cards, worth noting. Over to Stephane. Does promote the score, Kabili. Going to start the turn off there with the flip the script. Going to draw 3. Oh, goodness. They didn't look like a very good 3 there. Can't quite had a chance to see what it was. Did get Iono to 3, of course. Let's have a look. Electric Generator, Forest Seal, Stone. Good few cards there. Arven, switch card. So let's see what opts to do here.
Got Raichu in hand, but again, that's more kind of for the last KO. I mean, do you just gust? No, you kind of have to go after the Red Drago V-Star here, I think. And then you gust for the final prize next turn. Oh, it's so awkward, because Stephane's starting to run low on energy as well. There's 2 Lightning, 1 Double Turbo in hand, so maybe you do go Prime Catcher this turn and try and finish with a big Raichu next turn.
Yeah.
But then that gives Victor 1 more turn of Regidrago, which could be enough to then win the game in that regard. It's a lot of options here, Shay.
It really is. I mean, you've seen all 4 energy switches there being used. We know there's not a lot of energy left. Maybe you just try and say, right, I'm going to carry something else and hope you can't Apex Dragon next turn if it's possible. We do see a retreat there into a fleet-footed. Might have been a switch card there, it looks like. It's not quite Prime Catcher in game 1 off the fleet-footed, but does have Forest Seal Stone available and Electric Generator and a basic energy in hand. So plenty of options here for Stephane to work with. Just trying to work out what is best.
Worth noting, we've gone below 5 minutes in the game now.
Yep.
So the chance of getting a game free, although these games can be very quick, chance of getting a game free here is becoming very, very slim. So it really is very big at this stage as to what we want. Like Stephane needs to try and win 2-0, and here we do see. Remember, there was a turn earlier in the game he could have had the Kyurem and chose not to.
Are we going to potentially see a boss's order and say, you've got 2 cards left in deck, I've seen you play Switch, I don't think you can move this Kyurem? Is that what we're going to see?
We could. It's a risky strategy.
And we're going to see a Motivate as well. I like this. Motivate, grab 2 basic energy from the discard pile and attach them to your bench Pokemon. Oh, but it does have Prime Catcher and basic energy, so it can bring up, well, any one of those 2 prize Pokemon and carry them with Lost Impact. Victor is winning our game 2 here, and it's all going to go down to a game 3.
And we are going to see some fast play from these players. And look, especially Rhydon, it's a deck that can go very, very fast. But we're sitting at 1-1 here. We've got about 4 minutes left, probably nearer to 3 by the time we start, plus the customary free turns. It is going to take quite a lot for one of these players to wrap this up in the allotted time remaining.
It really is, but I tell you what we saw it in game 1. Rhydon took that first big KO. It's definitely possible, and Regidrago is not a slow deck by any means, so it's possible. Let's see what happens.
The deal here, take 2 prizes before time is called.
Yeah.
Once time is called, you will get 2 more turns. So if you can take 2 prizes before time's called, that gives you 2 turns to take 2 more 2 prize knockouts, and 2 plus 2 times 2 is 6.
Yep.
That is how many prize cards you need to take to win a game in the Pokemon TCG. So that's the goal. It's not winning before time is called.
No.
It is taking 2 prizes before time is called. You do that, you're in a decent position.
Really are. So let's see. Both players are drawing their cards. Looks like Victor has a basic Pokemon. Stephane, I think, has mulliganed twice here. So we're going to have to shuffle up and try and get a basic Pokemon at least to start the game. Let's see what happens here. I'm intrigued to see. I wonder what Stephane opted to do. Go first or second? Maybe second, right? I would be the pressure.
I would be very, very tempted to go second here.
Yeah.
And it's risky. You don't always get a great opening hand. But my theory is, my opponent takes 1 turn. I have a go fast turn, take a KO, and I have got 2 more turns to try and win the game.
So
that's what I'm going for here.
So it looks like Stephane has got a basic Pokemon this time. So in the game, our game 3 is about to start here in our Swiss Round 5 feature match here at the 2024 World Championships.
And Antoine will be going Antoine. There is another French player, the lovely Anton Boulet, who is also playing Maridon in this tournament. It's easy to get confused. This is Stephane, who is choosing to go second here. So, potential big go fast turn?
It's definitely live right now, as Victor has led a Regidrago V, so that will be a 2-prize Pokemon in the active. Stephane has led the Raging Greninja. That can retreat for 1 though, so that means you can put the rescue board on there and then be able to get out of there. So over to Victor here, going to Ultra Ball there for a Regidrago V, and going to pop it, I'm not sure into play, but at least into the hand at the very least.
Yeah, and we're looking at the time here. When time is called is very important. When time is called, that player finishes their turn and there's 3 more. So if time's called on Victor's turn, he gets the end of that turn plus 1 more. Stephane gets 2 full turns. If time is called during Stephane's turn, oh, here we go. Okay.
Here we go.
Stephane, you have 1 minute. End the turn on a KO before time is called. I know I'm asking a lot, but that is how you end up winning this match rather than getting a tie. You have 45 seconds to complete your turn and KO that Regidrago in the active. Go.
So harsh. It has an electric generator in hand and a Forest Stone, but it has no way of getting a Pokemon to use. So I think it's going to have to do a Squawking Seas, getting rid of those valuable resources there.
Oh,
and there are a ton of them. Got a Squawking Seas, get 6 new cards. Are we going to see enough to take a big KO? And are we going to see it in 20 seconds? I'm not sure, but Stephane's doing his very best to try.
It has to be before time is called. I know you can take extra prizes with your Iron Hands, but the problem here is that you just not got enough time and Iron Hands doesn't do enough damage. Time has now officially been called. That is a tie. Neither player is going to be able to finish up. Stephane wins game 1, Victor wins game 2, and we end up here with a tie. Stephane's deck goes fast. Unfortunately, not quite fast enough.
Yeah, that was tough. It's just, it would have been interesting to see if Stephane did have like a nest ball in that opening hand, because did have a lot of resources there, I reckon, to be able to take a 2-prize KO, but unfortunately didn't have a way to